friends in this valley.
Well, you were, going back to San Jose State there, as you said, there since 1967. One thing I'd be curious to know is how many people in the room met Wiggsy, particularly when she was a counselor at San Jose State, and certainly as a... And we're going to talk a lot about some of your other work at the university. But if you could, sort of reflect on the times, because now we're talking early 70s. You were pretty much the only out professor on campus. It must have been hard for LGBTQ students with really nowhere to go, trying to figure out their own sexuality, trying to see if they can figure out what's happening in their lives. What was sort of the experience for them?
Well, it was pretty awful. But the thing about it is that when I went there in '68, one of the things that happened. One of the things that happened was, sorry, gang, is that it became clear that we needed to have a place on campus for students, and we needed to have an organization. And a man by the name of Paul Wysocki, who has deceased now, really sat down and said, okay, let's do it, and started a gay student group. And actually the Associated Students at San Jose State paid for us, to have a group, which was really quite remarkable. And this, we're talking 68, they're 69 maybe. And it was very moving to me. The chancellor, who was a true fool in every sense of the word, could not get the idea across that we needed to have a GLBT group, and no T in those were days, but that they had to have a group for our students. And although he was not happy about it and tried to make sure that the university wouldn't do anything rash, like have a group, we actually managed to have one. And from that and Paul's work, we actually started a gay group. The faculty, well, they were another story. Not the bravest souls in the world. I used to go to meetings, and some of the faculty that I knew were sisters and brothers, and they must have known that I knew would not talk to me, because being close to me meant that they were going to be suspect. Because I made it a point to let people know that I was a lesbian all the time. Now, I didn't think I needed to tell people. I thought, well, it's pretty obvious, right? Well, apparently it wasn't. But, we went round and round. I've had a few fights with the presidents, but they came around. In time they would get it and come around. So I just think the campus was a great place for students to begin to get some sense of social responsibility. And in some ways we were lucky, because we were on the heels of the Black student movement, on the Latino student movement, on the women's movement. So when our gay group started, at least the idea of having something like that on campus had already been, planted for our students, and it really helped a lot. So.
Well, I just really want to speak for some of the students that are here that were talking to me beforehand, and with really tears in their eyes, saying that Wiggsy saved their lives. Of the kind of counseling that you did when there really just wasn't anybody else to talk to.
I had a couple of gay guys over the years who would come and start complaining to me about they were gay and they couldn't be out, and they lived in the residence hall and they were really frightened. And I said, oh, for God's sakes, just go and tell them that you're a fag and get it over with. And they did. And lo and behold, it worked for them. They found a place where they could be themselves in the residence halls. Students are wonderful. I mean, San Jose State students are very special. And
Yes.
They have always worked hard to try to make a place. The university is really quite a wonderful place to try to make a place for those of us who belong to this community, and also to try to make sure that other people are included. It's important to include people in every aspect of our life.
And we're going to talk a little bit later about your work with the California Faculty Association. I know that Terry Christensen is going to mention some of that, but obviously you were very involved in many different aspects of San Jose State.